All right, going over to another gladiator sport. Shall we cross
International?
the ditch and talk about the NFL? Obviously, in the few weeks post Super Bowl, few player movements.
I think we're 3 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I think there's two more full weeks. Yeah, the end of this week and 2 more weeks before free agency starts. Mm-hmm. So a lot of teams gearing up for free agency.
Yeah. So before we start, I guess, following on our AFL chat for those who are continuously listening through our podcast, Vinnie Jackson, his family, I don't know if we covered it last week, but his family's decided to donate his brain to CTE research, Boston University. So
I don't think and I don't think anything more has come out from the sheriff on like a coroner.
No.
Whether they release that or not is another question. Maybe his family would want to release that so it's out in the public so people can know, what happened. I think it'd be very unfortunate if he's had like a heart attack or a brain aneurysm or something like that, where it's just freak and he's passed away. I think I don't want to say it helps the situation, but putting it out there again, be part of the solution, not the problem. Like, hey, maybe it was an overdose or something like that, suicide. Like, let's be part of the positive that can come from this, and let's get talking about it. Thank you, James. I think finishing up from the last podcast, talking about NFL, we talked about where Wentz would go, that he didn't want to go to Bears, the Colts seemed more likely. I think we said Colts had offered, and it was rumoured, I think 2 seconds. But officially Wentz got traded, I think like 8 hours after we did the podcast, to the Colts for a second round. And was the second round conditional, or was it a third that became a second? I can't remember.
So I think the third round is locked, and then there's the second round, which is a conditional pick. It can become a first round pick if he plays more than 75% of the offensive snaps.
Which you'd think he'd probably do.
Unless he gets injured,
Unless he gets injured, I don't think Jacob's going to beat him out for that first job. I think they're thinking he's going to be their backup.
Who's that?
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett,
Yeah, you'd think Carson Wentz probably is the preferred starter there.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see. We've spoken about the Colts before. They've got a brilliant defense. Their offensive line is really good.
I think this is a solid investment for them too.
I think so too. Carson obviously had...
keep your first round this year and
he had
spend that on some maybe wide receiver talent.
Yeah, there's somewhere they could improve for sure is wide receiver and maybe their secondary. I know their front seven is very good. So there's some ideas there. I spoke about it last week. I said Carson Wentz obviously is coming off an absolute garbage season, but he went 11-2 3 years ago. That year that they went to the Super Bowl and won.
We're hoping for a bounce
then
back,
and then was injured the year after that. So he's only had one really poor season. Would love to see him bounce back there in Indianapolis.
Be really interesting to see how it goes there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking then I'm going to say now, current team with Wentz on it, not a playoff team. Big call. I think I'll see how they draft.
Okay, that's interesting. So you're saying that
I think they'll miss out.
That a 41-year-old Philip Rivers is better than in his prime Carson Wentz?
Than current Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
that's a fair shout.
You're talking about a possible future Hall of Famer versus a guy that hasn't played well in 2 years.
Okay. So. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Just made the connection as well. So Carson Wentz is connecting back up with Frank Reich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
From back in those days. So, I mean, very pivotal in Wentz's early performance and career. So
needs to fix him.
Yeah.
My tip is they do make the playoffs because Houston will be a hot pile of garbage. I think Jacksonville will be improved, but I don't think they'll be a playoff team. It'll just be a 2-horse race there in the AFC South. And obviously the Titans and Colts were both able to make the playoffs this year. So I think they'll be thereabouts. Other quarterback news, Sam Darnold, what's going on there?
Well, it sounds like the Jets are going to make him available, which not unsurprising. They've got the second pick and they're probably picking quarterback, whether that's Fields, Wilson, or Lance.
Assuming Trevor Lawrence is taken.
Yeah, Lawrence is, I think Lawrence is going one.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's a lock.
Lawrence is going one.
He's a lock. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think Jacksonville's going to do anything. They shouldn't do anything stupid. If they do, they should forever be the shit franchise they currently are. But it sounds like Donald will be available. I think he's 23 from memory, maybe going 24.
Yeah, he's not old.
He's young, so he's still got his prime ahead of him. Looks like Jets might be only looking for a second round to take him on. So, yeah, it could be a rebuild project for someone maybe like the Patriots.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe the Patriots might be a good fit.
Yeah.
If anyone can.
Because I don't think they're going to bring Cam back.
After the season.
Cam, I think, came out during the week and said he's happy. I want to come back.
Yeah, after the season Cam had, I'd highly doubt that. If there's any team that can take a sort of mediocre-ish guy and turn him into a superstar, it's the Patriots with Bill Belichick. So, yeah,
what are you saying about TB12?
He was 199th pick. Sam Darnold was a number 2 overall pick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
he's number 2, wasn't he, Sam Darnold?
Yes. Yes, he was. Yes, he was 2.
Did anyone see Cam Newton's Instagram
3.
this week?
3.
Negative.
Oh, well, getting. You talking about the camp that he ran?
Yeah, the camp. So he was running wouldn't have been a quarter. What is a quarterback camp?
Oh, Cam was running a football camp.
Let's
go with that.
And
high schoolers.
Yeah, these high schoolers. Well, one high schooler in particular was giving him shit about.
Decided to draw Cam.
Yeah, so
former MVP,
12-year-old
went to a fucking Super Bowl,
going ham on Cam.
How did Cam take it?
I think he gave his fair share back.
He did.
He's like, put some respect on my name.
Yeah,
that's it. I think
fair. Is it, like you say, MVP? Less than 4 years ago, 5 years ago,
2015.
Yeah, it's bold out of a 12-year-old kid.
Went to the Super Bowl. Like,
mind you, we don't mind shitting on guys when they're out of form. But
he still scored 22 touchdowns, I think, in total, 10 passing and 12 on the ground.
Yeah, he had the most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback this season. So he's not done yet.
Yeah, he's got some ability. Whether
hope a team picks him up.
Yeah.
Maybe he stays in New England. Like he's on a cheap deal at the moment as a backup.
Mentor type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
As we speak, Joe Root is out. England 5 for 56. This test match.
Yeah, they lost another one just before that as well. Ashwin got 1 so far and Patel's got 4.
Shit, so 10 for in the match already for Akshar Patel. He's getting a little pat on the back there.
England...
they lead by 23, so they are in deep doo-doo here. And I hope whoever's making this pitch takes a good hard look at themselves. Wouldn't mind test matches going longer than 2 and a bit days.
Some other quarterback news going back to the NFL. As folks comes out to the crease. Jimmy G, John Lynch came out during the week and said, I really believe that Jimmy G will be the starter, and he's a GM. So I don't think Lynch may be a pseudo GM over there, but I think he gets some calls. For that team. So it sounds like Jimmy G is probably staying put.
I'd say so.
They really like him when he's healthy. The caveat, of course, is when he's healthy.
That's right.
So hopefully he should bounce back this year.
Hoping so. Kenny Goliday, what's the go there, Sean?
Well, he's number 1 receiver for the Lions. Like he's talented, really good. I think the Lions are in trouble cap-wise. They've just taken on Goff's massive contract, which is a big number. The salary cap is minimum 180 mil. I think I can't remember if they're going to be a final decision on that. That's the minimum, 180. Max might be like 185, but it's in that ballpark. Of course, that's 20 to 15 mil less than it was last year. So guys are going to miss out. We talked about Robinson probably missing out with the Bears because he wants to get paid. Galloway probably looking to get paid as well because I think his deal it's either up or it's got to like this year. Again, premier wide receiver, had top 10 kind of numbers. Lions may want to get something for him, so it looks like he may be on the market for possibly a second rounder, which is, I'd say, awesome value for Kenny. Like he's
Packers
again, another guy. Robinson.
You really
Galloway.
just want someone at the Packers, don't you?
Aaron Rodgers needs a fucking wide receiver.
That said, I'd like the improvements out of MVS and Alan Lazard this year. So
yes,
we'll see what happens there. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers,
Yep.
he got engaged to Shailene Woodley. I wasn't aware of her, but apparently she's quite not famous actress, but accomplished.
Yes.
29-year-old of Divergent, Big Little Lies fame.
Yeah, Divergent being, why are we talking about movies? Being a bloody Hunger Games ripoff. Did a whole trilogy. There's like 3 or 4 movies of it. She's the lead, of course, in that.
Okay.
Bit of not a star, but, bit of an up-and-comer.
Yeah.
I don't think she's done anything massive outside of that, but...
Yeah,
shit all over
you can
Woodley.
tell how many movies shit we've watched.
Yeah, well, with her in it, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah.
So, big news for Rodgers. Obviously.
Congratulations, probably in order.
Yeah,
winning MVP, getting engaged.
Yeah, 37, going on 38.
Been a bit unlucky in love in the
You
past.
went out with that race car driver, didn't you?
Dan.
Danica Patrick.
Patrick or...
That's her name.
I think it's Danny Patrick, yeah.
Yeah.
Oliver Moon before that, another actress.
Yep.
I think he was engaged to her as well. So he's been a bit unlucky in love of late. So I guess congrats, definitely in order, being engaged. Kept this very quiet, of course, Aaron Rodgers being a very private person. It's only come out in a couple of weeks, but they said they've been engaged for quite a while.
Yeah, revealed that on Jimmy Fallon, didn't
of course, both been focusing on their careers a little bit, trying to do a Super Bowl run for Aaron and trying to make movies for Woodley. So, congrats.
Congrats, yeah.
Yeah.
Last little bit of NFL news. Mike Iupati, the big center.
Massive center.
11 years as
Samoan,
a pro.
I think, from memory.
Yeah, American Samoan. And
That's the
I'm
one.
going to get to that point in a second. He had 4 Pro Bowls with the 49ers, Cardinals, and Seahawks. He's an NFC West careerman. American Samoa, population 47,000. It's like half of Tuggeranong, where we're broadcasting from here in the beautiful ACT. They've had 37 guys play in the league. There's 4 currently. Domata Pico comes to mind. He's that big D tackle. He played for the Bengals for a long time.
Played for them for a little bit.
Yeah, he's at the Cards now.
I think he's probably 15 or 16 years deep at this point. Like,
Yeah.
he's been around a long time.
Indeed. Mike Iupati, probably the most accomplished guy from American Samoa, but unbelievable that they've been able to produce that many guys, make it into the league with that tiny little population.
Good conversion rate.
And again, Samoans, you see it here in the rugby league, tiny population compared to the rest of Australia. And I think I'm having a stab here, but what do you reckon in the NRL these days? It's probably 40% Pacific Islander between
I'd be up there.
between Maoris, Samoans, and Tongans. So unbelievable conversion rate from their population.
Well,
obviously genetically very gifted. Tend to be very big, strong dudes.
Yeah, you think of the NFL, like there's populations, 330, 350 mil at the moment.
Oh, in America, yeah.
And there's 3,000 and something odd blokes playing NFL.
Currently, at any one time.
Yeah. So from, do that math and then you look at, 47,000 and we got 37 guys in there. Like it's, that's impressive.
Yeah, unbelievable. So an absolute breeding ground for NFL players there in American
big
Samoa. And Mike Iupati might be the most accomplished one. So congrats on a stellar career.
Yep.
So I think the only other kind of note out of this is, like we said, a bunch of teams are releasing and getting guys prepared. I know Williams, the wide receiver from the Raiders, got released today, had a 10 mil cap hit. So, of course, trying to clear money from him. I think he only had like 46 grabs in the 40s this year, so not a great stellar season for him. So probably been paid overs. But it looks like there'll be a lot of movement coming in a couple of weeks.
Try and keep all on top of that on the Esky.